Hi, this is Miss Andrea, and this is the kind of video you make around 1 a.m. when you can't sleep because something has been bothering you for over a week. Maybe over a week? I don't know. Last week, Thursday-ish maybe, um, there was a news report about a school in Louisiana where they had been committing fraud uh, through the application process of getting kids into Ivy League schools. And at this point, they had a running track record of every single child was getting into these Ivy League schools. And uh, I have this thing that I do on my Facebook called Breaking the Stereotype. So whenever I see a story that, kind of blows my mind a little bit, I post a Breaking the Stereotype. I have a sneeze. I post a Breaking the Stereotype post. And so I posted several of these children's stories, especially the two brothers in the same year. Got to Ivy League. I think one was 16 and one was 18, or 16 and 17. And I saw them, and sometime around the third or fourth child, I just kind of looked and I thought, huh, that's a lot. You know, that's quite the track record. And then I also watched the videos themselves for the reactions themselves. And I mean, I I really loved my teachers in school. And it was a long time ago when teachers touching students and students touching teachers wasn't a bad thing. But this was so much more than that. Picking up kids, throwing them in the air, just generally just touching and grabbing and shaking, and you want to think that's all in the excitement, but it just didn't seem. Something about it just didn't seem genuine. But that's me. So imagine my surprise when I'm hearing on the news last week that the college applications um, had been defrauded by the administration of the school. And um, not only that, the kids had been verbally and mentally abused at this school. And not only that, this was a homeschool academy. It started off as a homeschool program and grew into a school. And I got so mad. And the reason I haven't recorded anything about it before now is because I've had this like very painful ear infection. There's still cotton in my ears just getting cleared up, and I couldn't hear anything but a whistle. So it's kind of hard to talk and kind of hard to think, clear thoughts when you're feeling that bad. But here's my thing, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you want your kids homeschooled, then you as parents need to find a way to be the person homeschooling that child. And I've put distance between myself and friends, and I've put distance between myself and family members because they wanted me to homeschool their kids alongside my kids, or just like I had homeschooled my kids. And my answer was always no. Once I start taking in children that I did not give birth to, that I am not the parent or legal guardian of, this ceases to be homeschooling. This becomes a private school setting. The more kids you add to a school setting, the more you lose that individualized education that homeschooling affords. And the more it just turns back into traditional school. Nothing wrong with traditional school, but for parents to be running a traditional school based on their love for teaching, um, and they don't, and they're the teachers and they're the administrators, and how do I explain this? If you're going to run a school, you need to start hiring professionals. If you're going to have more than two, three, four kids to be teaching, or if, I don't know, you have a super family, your 10 kids, if you're going to have more than what belongs to you and maybe your sister, um, and you're going to be teaching them, you need to have professionals because there are legal issues, there are personal issues, there are frustrations, there are unknowns. And once you turn homeschooling into a business, it's time to hire professionals. And I say this not to advise people planning on building a homeschool program, hire professionals. But I'm saying this to parents. Um, don't just turn your kids over because you want them to have a homeschool experience. If you want them to have a homeschool experience, I'm sorry. I know people tell me it must be nice to have been able to stay home and homeschool your kids. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to work split shifts. You're going to have to work night shifts. The most important aspect of homeschooling, and I've said this a million gazillion times, is the relationship. These kids learn so well because you and that child know each other. You don't have to start over every school. You're getting to know the teacher. You're just already in there. There's already trust. There's already understanding of teaching style and learning style. You're already in the groove, and you just have to introduce information, talk through it, learn through it, introduce new information. It's homeschooling can be easy, but homeschooling is hard. And once you take that business route in homeschooling, things can get sticky. And in this case in Louisiana where these kids were abused, they feel like they were abused. Several kids have dropped out of Ivy League schools because they got in there and realized they couldn't hang. And wait, I was the top 10% of my high school class in high school many years ago in New York, and I got into Fordham and realized I couldn't hang and had to take a step back into community college and then step back in. So I'm not saying they super sucked because it happens to the best of us, but these kids feel like they weren't equipped at all um, to handle college, and another report I read said the kids that were with them 1 year were able to go into the Ivy League and stay in the Ivy League and excel. The kids that were with them 3, 4, 5 years, they couldn't do it because while they slammed the ACT and SAT, that was all they were taught. They were taught to the test. Please think before you turn your kids over to be homeschooled by someone other than you. It just ceases to be homeschooling. Please hear me. Okay? Until next time.